There seems to be a rumor going around that Intel has pushed their Cannon Lake CPUs till late 2018, and I think many people haven't realized that Intel updated this and told people that Cannon Lake's coming out in late 2017, with early 2018 having more deliveries. But I think people haven't been researching this, and I think there's a reason why. I think people are expecting that Cannon Lake is going to be a completely different architecture, and like since it's a 10 nanometer die shrink from Coffee Lake, people are expecting this to be the new chip that replaces Coffee Lake, but that's not the case. Coffee Lake seems to be an in between processor that's going to be replaced pretty soon, but not within the next year for the desktop. What I think that's going to happen is I heard rumors already that there's going to be an 8 core 16 thread CPU, Coffee Lake CPU. That probably will come out sometime in next year, but that's what we're probably going to be seeing next year. But for Cannon Lake's coming out later at the end of this year, and I think the reason it's coming out is what people haven't been noticing is that there is no high-end CPU at the current moment for the mobile market. So for laptops, we haven't seen the new HK or HQ series CPU, and these CPUs are probably going to be the die shrink Cannon Lake. And there's a reason why I keep thinking this. The reason I keep thinking is because every time I look at Intel stuff, I see no mention at all about Coffee Lake coming to mobiles, specifically from them. But more specifically, what I keep seeing is like they showed off a laptop with a Cannon Lake processor. If there's already a laptop running somewhere in the world with a Cannon Lake processor, it's kind of good to believe that this thing is already being manufactured and will be released soon. These laptops are probably the best way to implement Coffee Lake, considering its high power usage and heat distribution. You probably don't want to put an actual Coffee Lake processor into a current laptop. So what's probably going to happen is that once they're going to take the Coffee Lake processor and they're going to shrink it to the die shrink so that they can release it as Cannon Lake, but only for the laptops. The reason it's only being released for the laptop, I'm assuming, is because once they did that die shrink, what happens is that Coffee Lake has to go and become a much slower processor. And when it becomes a much slower processor, it's useless for the desktop market. So releasing the 10 nanometer this year or next year for desktops will probably be a mistake, because what they're going to be end up doing is just they're going to release a processor that's weaker than their current processor, Coffee Lake. They're not going to do that. So the next iteration of a desktop PC is going to be Ice Lake. There's a reason as well why Intel went ahead and already announced Ice Lake as their next desktop CPU. And the reason they did that is because it's not because they're skipping Cannon Lake. Cannon Lake is not for desktop CPUs. It is specifically just for the mobile market. It seems to be the same thing with Broadwell when it came out. Broadwell was just a die shrink with Haswell, and yeah, we did see laptops with Haswell and with Broadwell, but mostly Broadwell replaced Haswell and was the only one used for laptops. But once that die shrink did come in, it was a slower CPU than Haswell was. It was a little bit slower, and it's just because once you do the die shrink, for some reason, it also makes it slower. And slower also makes it, in a sense, although it's slower, it is faster because of the die shrink as well. But when it came for actual tasks and stuff, you would notice that it was slightly slower. That is okay for the mobile market, because for the mobile market, most CPUs tend to be, to some extent, slower. So what I'm expecting with the Cannon Lake die shrink is we're gonna see it on the HQ laptops, probably the 8700 HQ and the 8820 HK is what I'm guessing it's going to be called. Cannon Lake CPUs are going to be specifically for the mobile market, and then what we're going to probably see is similar to the 7700 HQ and the 7820 HK speeds overall, but we're going to see 2 extra cores, something we've never seen on a laptop at this current moment. One with 6 cores and 12 threads. This is going to be an amazing laptop when it comes out, or an amazing CPU for laptops when it comes out. But it's not going to be great for desktops. But for like I'm guessing you're gonna have similar speeds as the current lineup with two additional cores, but on top of that, it may even be slightly faster than what we've seen in previous laptops. So this will also be really good for gaming, and this is probably why we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen this released or mentioned because they're probably waiting. They were probably waiting first of all for AMD to announce their new Ryzen CPUs, and unfortunately, those are only 4 cores and 8 threads. Intel is going to announce their mobile CPUs soon, I'm guessing, and it's going to be way better than what AMD has. And I think it's basically is going to be again the cheapo laptop CPU to get. It's still great for what we have nowadays. It's better than anything out there right now. But later in December, when I think Cannon Lake will launch, it's over for them. It's not gonna be that great anymore, unfortunately. But I just wanted to basically mention that rumor and tell people because apparently there has been an announcement from Intel more recent than that rumor suggesting Cannon Lake's coming out at the end of this year. And if Cannon Lake's coming out at the end of this year, it can only be the mobile CPU, which is the only CPU that's currently missing in the lineup. And given all the evidence, we've seen only a Cannon Lake in a laptop. It's best to assume that Cannon Lake's coming out for laptops in the end of this year. And from everything we've seen, there has not been any announcement for Coffee Lake CPUs on laptops. I have to go and just say that it's going to be Cannon Lake. On top of that, Cannon Lake is part of this family of the 8 series of CPUs from Intel. It's Cannon Lake with Kaby Lake Refresh and Coffee Lake are both. All of those are part of the CPU the CPU lineup for this term of the 8 series of Intel chips. And since Cannon Lake is part of it, it's good to assume that what they mean isn't that they're going to release a new desktop Cannon Lake CPU anytime soon. What they're probably saying is that Cannon Lake has to fit in the only CPU they haven't yet announced, which is the high-end mobile market CPUs, which are usually the HQ and HK series of CPUs, which have yet to be announced, yet to be released, and usually are released at the end of the year, which surprisingly Cannon Lake has already been announced for the end of this year. It suggests that Cannon Lake is the mobile Coffee Lake, the mobile version of the Coffee Lake CPU that's about to come out. Anyways, I could be wrong and we could see a Coffee Lake CPU. I'm just guessing that this is what's going to happen. I could very well be wrong, but I don't think so, given all this evidence that I keep pointing at people. And, like, people just, for some reason, haven't connected these dots yet. And I'm just trying to see if I'm connecting them correctly. I don't know what you guys would think about it, but I'm pretty sure that that's what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Cannon Lake in the end of this year only for CPUs. And probably later on next year, we'll probably see whether it be the Core i9 series or even the super high end CPUs, the ones that are super expensive, the same way we saw for Broadwell on the desktop, basically. But it'll be like Cannon Lake something, or that's later on probably because we didn't even see Broadwell till almost Skylake was out, so it's gonna be a while. Anyways, that's my video for now, guys. I hope to see you tomorrow or later today. I might release another video. I'm not sure, but anyways, have a good day. I'm signing out. Bye.